Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to look at the T-Mobile Sidekick series, aka the Hip Top Slide. These devices were quite popular in North America in the 2000s, and I think they were really popular amongst the teenagers and young adult crowd because they were mostly used for text messaging and social media messaging, communication with their friends. They're just pretty interesting devices. So T-Mobile and Danger Hip Top made a few of these. They have a lot of different iterations. They started with the T-Mobile Sidekick, Danger Hip Top 1, 2, and 3. Then they had the LX version. This version is the Motorola Sidekick Slide, also known as the Motorola Q700 or the T-Mobile Sidekick Slide. And this came out in 2007. And just give you some specs: 128 megs of RAM, 225 megahertz TI OMAP 850. So why are these devices so interesting? Well, first of all, they were incredibly popular for the time. They were almost like the Razr in that sense, right? A lot of people had one, and it's just, for some, it brings back the memories, right? Nostalgic memories of when they were going to high school or when they were going to college. These devices were quite popular. So let's look at this one, the Motorola Sidekick Slide first. These were all made by different manufacturers, but this one's made by Motorola. So you have the this one up here, I think, is the cursor button. I've never actually used a T-Mobile Sidekick, by the way. These are the for my collection, but I haven't really used them when they were first came out. So I think this is a cursor button. I'll have to check when I turn it on. This is the hang up button. It's a call button. This is the optical track point right here, very similar to the one used by Blackberries back in the day. A few other smartphone manufacturers. I think Palm might have had some of these optical trackpads, but T-Mobile Sidekicks use these. And it looks like a going back button right here. This looks like a menu button. And then this looks like a kind of D-pad navigation button as well. So it's interesting they have this optical rollerball right here, not trackpad, rollerball. And they also have the D-pad right here. And this is another, looks like it to be a menu button as well. Let's look at the controls. This one looks like it could be, actually, I don't know what these are either. I'll have to take a look. They're both labeled kind of with the same, yeah, they're both labeled with kind of the same icon here, but I'm not quite sure what those are. It might be volume. I think these might be volume, but I'll have to boot it up. Actually, no, these are volume. These are volume rockers, yeah. So these might be for the menu, I guess. Yeah, so these are volume rockers right here. This is the on button, I think. And we have a camera at the back, but not a very good camera. I think it's like a 1.3 megapixel probably. But yeah, the T-Mobile branding, although these were manufactured originally by Danger. So cool thing about these devices, like I said, they were mainly used by teenagers for texting. So they have a slide up. They have a slide up mechanism here, which reveals a QWERTY keyboard with circular keypad here, and buttons right here. So I have to say these aren't the best keyboard buttons I've used on a smartphone. I mean, they're serviceable, but I definitely would not use these for like writing emails or text messages or something like that for a long period of time, although I suppose the young kids back in the day might have really liked these, but they're not really for me. I'll just have to test them out as well. So this one actually has, oh yeah, we have a headphone jack with a flap right here. Again, I wish more phone makers would actually put a flap to protect the headphone jack. Lanyard right here to put your cell phone charms. And this is a mini USB charger right here. So in 2007, mini USB, quite popular. So let's actually turn it on. Gotta charge it first. And here we go. This is the Danger Hip Top interface. Danger OS, I think that's what it's called. So let's see. Oh, maybe I have to press long hold this one. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this was actually the on button. I'll have to check what this one is later. T-Mobile Sidekick Slide. Okay, I'm actually pretty excited. Like I said, I didn't own a T-Mobile Sidekick or Danger Hip Top, back in the days when they were actually popular. All right, so this is Danger OS, and this is the back button, I believe. I use the D-pad to navigate here. So D-pad, and the center button here is the OK button. So this is the catalog, which you can use to download stuff here. Again, I'm not familiar with this operating system because I actually didn't have a Danger Hip Top back in the mid-2000s when it was popular. I saw a lot of other kids using it though. So it's interesting. Okay, so I can also use the track point to click enter, I guess. Okay. Oh. Oh, it goes a little bit fast. Okay, instant messaging here. So we can press that. This is okay, I guess. And we have Windows Live Messenger, of course. That's what I used back then. Very, very popular. AIM, more used by Americans than anyone else. But of course, when I talked to all my American friends, I used AIM. MSN for everyone else. They were really popular. MSN was definitely more popular than AIM in Canada. Yahoo Messenger for, I think people outside of the States and Canada use Yahoo Messenger, and ICQ actually. They don't have ICQ here, but ICQ was really popular outside of North America as well. And then QQ for China, which obviously they don't have here. Live Messenger, how would I even connect that? Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, these aren't in service anymore. They were all shut down. But back in the day, I suppose this would have been pretty cool because MSN was actually my main form of communication in the 2000s. Literally, I would not ask people for their phone number. Instead, or you know, these days you ask for their WhatsApp ID or Facebook Messenger or Kakao Talk, Line, WeChat, right? But back in the 2000s, you would ask for their AIM or their MSN ID, and that's how you would connect with them. So I would have actually used this a lot. Keyguard, power off. Oh, background. So I can change my background. Okay, show Vulcan. Let's go with this. Wild West. Gonna go with that. No. So the track point's actually it's interesting because there's two kind of navigation thing going on here. Like that you can use the D-pad, but you also use the track point. Right, track point can actually act as kind of a mouse cursor in this sense, because it's almost like a desktop operating system, this menu, which is really cool. Okay, and how do I press OK on this? Device go. Oh, okay, that's okay. That did change it. All right, so this is a menu button. I'll give you the main menu here. Bluetooth, help backgrounds. Okay, what if it's Vulcan? That's interesting. Okay, I want Wild West now. That's Wild West. All right. I think I like the original one better. Device glow. All right. All right. So that's instant messenger. Be very careful with this. Yeah. This track point is very sensitive. If you do it left or right, it will actually go into it, and then you have to go up or down here. So if I go left or right, it'll actually go in here. No email, so nothing to do there. Okay, the phone. Start dialing. Okay, let's oops. All right, so email. What's new? T-mail. Is that T-mail now? Wow. I don't know. I wasn't a T-Mobile customer. I was an AT&T customer, so, or Singular as it was known in the 2000s. So I don't know what the T-mail is actually. Okay. Email, phone. Okay, start typing. Obviously, I don't have any contact message here. Oh, this is just using the number. Dial with letters. It's not a touchscreen, right? Nope. Okay. Dial with letters here. Now you can dial with letters. Okay. Let's go back. Phone messaging. This is your SMS. Picture messaging or text messaging. Pix is MMS, right? Multimedia text. So let's try out the keyboard here. You can do here. So this is the options menu. or context options, and then we can do new message here. So to my email, something like that. It even has the @ symbol right on the keyboard, so you don't need to really type around here. That delete. Let's go to the next one. And then this will be a typical, what's a typical 2000s internet thing. Let's do this. Yeah, and add a symbol here. Oh, actually, I forgot that these are specialized symbols in the symbol menu. But if I just wanted a question mark, then you would do the standard QWERTY keyboard way, which is Alt. You have to press Alt here for the secondary. Here we go. Typical internet slang in the 2000s, the mid 2000s, right? Because we all used internet chat rooms back then, so that's what we would do, and use IRC chat, and that would be my slang. All right, we added like a little emoticon, emojis before there were emojis. Remember all this internet slang back then, right? Equals D, equals O, equals parenthesis. This is the emojis before there were emojis. We used ASCII emojis, right? Foot in mouth. Send. Yeah, of course it doesn't work, but typing is okay. I would say, yeah, this is not my favorite keyboard, but it's not the worst. Yeah, it's not the worst. I mean, the keys are definitely responsive. And I do like the easy way to get to the shortcuts. Like in a lot of the Nokia phones and other feature phones I used, the way of getting to the different symbols and shortcuts and using emojis and the @ symbol, like, is all very difficult to type, right? Or Windows mobile devices. But here they make it a lot easier. So I can see why young kids, teenagers, or young adults would be really interested to use this for texting, especially. The keyboard is not the best as a functional, actually tactile keyboard, but it is quite convenient for using the shortcuts for our internet slang, I suppose. So that's pretty cool. So okay, let's go back. Address book, photo gallery ID, no contacts. Nope, nothing there. So what's this? This button right here is actually go back to the home screen button, I think. Okay, so this button actually just takes us back to the Danger OS home screen. Web browser. I wonder what the web browser would be like on this phone. Start typing automatically. Okay, so obviously not going to work. I wonder if it's, well, I wonder what kind of 404 page will show anyways. I'm just curious. I can actually type pretty fast with this keyboard. Not bad. Yeah, okay, nothing. It doesn't actually show us anything. All right, fine. Can't do the web browser. I was just curious. Organizer. So this is our PDA stuff. Calendar. Notes, to do. Yeah, that's all there. No calculator, right? Calendar. Okay. Yep. Quite a simple interface here. But there it is. There's our PIM stuff. Camera. So again, let's so I have another T-Mobile Sidekick here I'm going to talk about after this. It's extremely bad. I guess you can tell this is either a 0.3 megapixel or 1.3 megapixel camera, something really low res. Exposure, let's change that to night mode just to brighten it up a bit. All right, so that's better. 3 remaining, 1280 by 1024. I wonder if that means I can only take 3 pictures, because that's pretty low storage even for something from the mid 2000s. Okay, let's capture the photo. Takes a while. All right. So yeah, that was our picture, I guess. Saving it. Okay. Go back. Oh man, okay. Well, guys, as you can see, the picture's definitely not I mean, we're just glad that we're out of the mid 2000s with phone cameras, right? That's why I didn't take any pictures with my phone camera back then. Yeah, that's the camera, and then a music player, which you would play your downloaded files from Napster or torrented Supernova files. I'm just referencing some early to mid 2000s stuff that people would do to get music. DC++ or Kazaa. Bring back any memories? LimeWire. And you would play your malware win files here. Yeah, I've got nothing. Yeah, this is so mid 2000s. All right. Games. Bob's Journey to the Earth. I actually got something. Wow. What could this game be? I didn't know T-Mobile Sidekick had games, but okay. I guess they do have an app store because you can download stuff, right? Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, okay. This is like a speed runner or something. Whoa. Go faster. Looks like a Pac-Man thing. No! It's like platformer Pac-Man. So this is Java-based, of course, operating systems like that. Whoa. 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 Yeah. A far cry from the mobile games you can see these days. This is how far mobile games have evolved since the 2000s. Oh man. What the heck, I went through the wall. Alright, not gonna play that anymore. Anyways, guys, that's the T-Mobile Sidekick Slide, also known as the Motorola Sidekick Slide. Yeah, this is I gotta say, I didn't use a T-Mobile Sidekick before, but the keyboard is surprisingly better than I expected. At first I thought it was like, not a very good keyboard to type on, but after a while I think it actually is pretty fast to type on, and it gives you easy access to commonly used buttons for messaging on the internet. So you can see why kids liked it back in the day. So anyways, that's the Danger Hip Top Motorola Sidekick Slide, using Danger OS, right? I think this was a unique phone. It slides up from the middle like that. It's not one of those phones that slides the entire phone up. It slides only the middle part. So that's kind of how you know it's a T-Mobile Sidekick. All right, so I found out what some of the buttons do. So this one will bring you back to the middle of the main menu, always to phone. And then say you're in an application like phone, you just press this to go back to the main menu in Danger OS. This button up here will actually open the camera. So this is like a camera shutter button, right? So yeah, this is a camera shutter button. And then this one here opens the picture messaging. I think that's the battery dying sound. So yeah, it's kind of cool that they put a shutter button, and then you can immediately send it to your friends by opening the picture messaging or MMS messaging button right here. So that's a quick way to share photos to your friends, even though the camera kind of sucks. It's cool they put that in. And then this button right here, let's go to like email or something like that. I think this just goes back as well, right? So I put AOL. Yeah, this is kind of the same. It's a similar thing to the back button, I guess. They operate very similarly. And yeah, and this is the power button down here. So power off. Just press it again. Yep, and that's it, guys. That's the Motorola Sidekick Slide, or the T-Mobile Sidekick Slide. All right, this is the Sharp Sidekick LX 2009, which came out after in 2009. A few upgrades and improvements. First of all, the Motorola Sidekick Slide, this was a 2.6-inch display and probably like a 1.3 megapixel-ish camera. This is a 3.2-inch display, higher resolution, and a 3.2 megapixel camera. So it's definitely an upgrade there. You can definitely see the screens, right? The screen difference. This one obviously a lot bigger. So Sharp Sidekick LX 2009. has similar buttons to the Motorola. So you have these two buttons here, which are both back, I guess. You have the same call and hang up buttons, the same rollerball here, right? So along the side, the buttons are pretty similar. And then here is probably the same buttons as well. The context menu button, then you have the D-pad, which now also doubles as a speaker, it looks like. So that's there, and then you have the main menu button here as well. I can't actually power this one on, it doesn't actually work. Just gets stuck at the loading screen, but I already showed you Danger OS already, so this should be pretty similar. I'm guessing this is the camera shutter button again, just like the Motorola. So this will open up the camera, and this one should open up. On the Motorola, it opened up the MMS messaging. So on here, I'm guessing it'll be similar. And then down here, you have the volume rockers, just like on the Motorola volume rockers. You have a headphone jack right here, which I don't believe. Oh yeah, we have a headphone jack right here. It's a different spot. So this one has a flap on the side, and then this one is just at the bottom, no flap. And then you have the power button in the same position as well, just like on the Motorola. And this one charges with mini USB as well. So same kind of charger as well. And 3.2 megapixel camera, like I said, it's upgraded. So instead of the slide up functionality that the Motorola does, the Sharp Sidekick actually has a swivel functionality. So you would open up your phone and it will automatically swivel up like that. So you see that? This is kind of unique, I think. So you open it up and then it kind of swivels up like that. So not many phones actually do this. This is kind of a unique to this Sharp Sidekick here. So you open it up like this and then it automatically swivels up like that, which I think is really cool. Again, I've seen the slider functionality on many phones before, although not quite just in the middle, but I have seen the mechanism several times. I've never quite seen a swivel up mechanism like this one on another phone. So that's kind of unique. Then you have the bubbly kind of keyboard, just like on the Motorola, except I think these keys look a little bit bigger. These keys are kind of small. I mean, it's definitely usable, but these keys look bigger, I think, so they're easier to press, and they have the same layout. So I think this would be a better phone. I mean, it's more powerful, came out later, better specs, cooler mechanism for opening it, and the keyboard, it looks bigger. So, and the screen display is also bigger as well. So I think this is definitely the better device out of the two, if it can work, actually. Yeah, too bad I can't get this one to actually power on. But very, very similar. I do like the keyboard of this one, and the slide up or swivel up mechanism of the display better on this one. So that's a Sharp Sidekick LX 2009, also known as the T-Mobile Sidekick LX 2009. All right, so what's next? We had the Motorola Sidekick Slide from 2007, then the Sharp Sidekick LX from 2009. We have the last Sidekick branded phone, which is the T-Mobile Sidekick 4G, also known as the Samsung Sidekick. So Samsung actually made this one. 3 different manufacturers. Yeah, Motorola, Sharp, and then Samsung. Yeah, this is the last Sidekick branded phone, but it actually isn't really even a Sidekick phone, because the T-Mobile Sidekick 4G, it doesn't run Danger OS at all. Instead, it runs Android 2.2 Foreo. So this is actually an Android phone, and the specs are definitely better. This came out in 2011, so obviously newer than both of these. Has 512 megs of RAM, 1 gigahertz Cortex-A8 processor, and 3.5-inch display, bigger than both of these. And the main camera is actually the same amount of megapixels as this one, 3.2 megapixels. But yeah, you see this is a Samsung Sidekick. The one I have is very used, so it has a crack in the screen right here, but it still functions. At least I can turn it on. But let's look at the functionality first of the exterior. So you have the functions in the buttons are all in different locations than on the old T-Mobile Sidekicks. So this one, the 4G, is the context menu is moved to this side now. And then you have the roller ball, which is always on this side, just as before. This is the back button in the same location as before. This one is a home button, which is used to be down here. And then this one I'll have to investigate. Actually, don't know what the 3 stripes mean. All right, so they have a micro USB port right here, which is definitely newer than the mini USB on those two. And then they have a dedicated camera shutter button, which I appreciate they left in. And then the bottom here, you have a headphone jack in the same location as the Sharp. The volume rocker also in the same locations, and then the power button also in the same locations. Nothing on the back except the 3.2 megapixel camera with no flash, no self-portrait mirror. Speakers looks like they're on here as well. Yeah, and the mechanism to reveal the keyboard is actually different from either of these two. So this is a slide up mechanism. This is a swivel mechanism. This one is actually a tilt up mechanism. So it's interesting to use 3 different mechanisms to reveal the keyboard for all these Sidekicks. So this one is a tilt up. So it's neither a slider or a swivel. So it's definitely the hardest to get out of these 3, I think. But tilts up like that, and then you have a keyboard which is quite different from these two. No more bubbly keyboard anymore. You have rectangular buttons now, or square buttons, I guess. Not exactly square either, but anyways, more squarish buttons. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're actually better Type 1 or not. Let's actually just boot it up and see what happens. Okay, it's T-Mobile Sidekick 4G, Samsung. So I actually find it quite interesting. Each of these devices are kind of unique in their own way. They all have different mechanisms made by different manufacturers. They all carry the Sidekick name. This one is probably the least Sidekick out of all of them since it runs Android. And it is also the last Sidekick as well. The last phone with the Sidekick name. Okay. Okay. So it's been a while since some of you guys may have seen Android 2.2, but here it is. This is what Android looked like back in 2011. Very, very outdated, of course. Okay, this is the phone, so you can do... This is a touchscreen right now, right? These other ones weren't touchscreens, but this being an Android phone, it's now a touchscreen phone as well. You can see call log, favorites. So, go home. This is the home button, which takes us to the Android home, the old Google launch right here. This button, I'm not sure, is that some kind of app switcher button? Context menu button. Ooh, it brings up this something from below here. I wonder if you can definitely pull up for notifications. Yeah, wallpaper. I guess you can change it to a live wallpaper. Let's do water. Like live wallpapers are nice. Okay, so yeah, the wallpaper's moving. And search, notifications, reorder your apps, I suppose. Right? Yeah, this is kind of like this widget thing. The old Android had it like that. Settings from here as well. This is not exactly a roller ball. It's more of like an optical. These ones were roller balls, right? Track balls, whatever you want to call them. This is an optical trackpad, so it doesn't have the roller feel anymore, which is a little bit disappointing. Android market, not connected to the internet, by the way, so I'm not going to go there. Old messaging. Facebook, the old icon for that. Group texting, there's a separate app for that. Music player, video chat, Kick. Is that the name of the... You have T-Mobile video chat, of course, powered by Kick. Share your life as it happens. All right. Not going to do that. Why would people use this when they have Skype or Google Hangouts, you know? Camera, 3.2 megapixel camera. Have to apparently insert a memory card to use it. Else it won't let me use it, I guess. Oh wait. Alright, so yeah, this is the 3.2 megapixel camera here. Again, I don't think it's any better than the Sharp camera. Yeah, probably not going to use that. Gallery, is there any photos that we can look at? No SD card detected, so I guess you need one to look at photos. Media room, video, Slacker radio. Nope, it's fine. So I still don't know what this button does exactly. All right, account settings. Okay, we can look at apps. This is all the Android 2.2 apps that we have for you. It's been a long time since I used this one. File manager, mini diary, my account. So of course you guys know Android apps, so I'm not going to go through all these, but I just want to check. Look at that old YouTube icon, and Twitter. I just want to maybe just send I just want to test the keyboard. So let's just try messaging. Create new message. All right. So to Tongzu, and then test out the keyboard. I'm on a T-Mobile Sidekick. I mean, it types okay. Not terrible. Actually, all the Sidekicks have pretty good keyboards, I would say. This one is good. I haven't tested the Sharp yet, but this one feels about as good as the Motorola one, which is decent. It's backlit. Emoji icon, there's a emoji button as well, so you can select one of these emojis. Not sure what this one is, but it's there. There's a microphone buttons for dictation or something. Yeah, of course. Symbol button right here. Yeah, the keyboard's not bad. I would say all the T-Mobile Sidekick keyboards are pretty good, and I think it's for that reason why it's so well beloved by a lot of young people when back in the day when they were using these to text their friends and stuff like that. I mean, you can't make a text messaging phone, right, without having a good keyboard. So I think a lot of the T-Mobile Sidekicks, one of the best points was the keyboard. They're all pretty decent. So yeah, you have this is a tilt up, then you have a swivel up, then you have a slide up. So that's 3 generations of T-Mobile Sidekicks. Right, the Motorola Sidekick, the Sharp Sidekick, and the Samsung Sidekick. This one does not have an elegant way of pushing it back down. All right, and this is the phone mode, right? In the phone mode, you can hold it like this in portrait mode, as you can with Android. Yeah, so anyways, those are 3 generations of T-Mobile Sidekicks. The last one, the T-Mobile 4G, is the very last phone with the Sidekick name, but I'm going to show you another phone, which is actually quite derivative of the T-Mobile Sidekick line, and it's because Danger Hip Top, Danger is the company that originally made these devices, the Danger Hip Top, right? Got acquired by Microsoft. And then Microsoft proceeded to make their own phones for a short period of time. And that phone is the Microsoft Kin. So you guys might not have heard of this phone. And you guys might think that, oh, Microsoft makes a phone like this? You know, I thought Microsoft were just starting to make phones with their Surface Duo and stuff. No, actually. Microsoft has had a number of different failed initiatives, and Kin was one of them. I mean, I guess you can call Zune a failed initiative as well, but Zune was pretty good. Kin was also one of these things that came out of Microsoft's purchase of Danger. So the company which originally came out with the T-Mobile Sidekick, which is Danger, and called it the Danger Hip Top, bought by Microsoft, and now Microsoft used some of the technology to make the Microsoft Kin, which also failed. So first of all, let's go over some of the specs here and the exterior features. So this has a 3.4-inch display, which is actually bigger than these ones. Actually, maybe it's about the same size as the 4G. It has 256 megs of RAM, 600 megahertz NVIDIA Tegra processor, and this has a camera as well, but I think it is this is an 8 megapixel camera, so it's actually quite higher spec than any of these. This tops out at 3.2 and 3.2. So this phone actually came out in 2010, which is actually before the T-Mobile Sidekick 4G came out. This was in 2011, despite the fact that this is a Kin 2. They made 2 of them, the Kin 1 and the Kin 2. The Kin 2 that I have, this one has higher specs than this one, even though it came out before. And you might wonder, how can this come out when you have the Sidekick as well? Even though, you know, Danger is supposed to make them both. Well, Danger was no longer really used after the Sharp Sidekick, right? So the T-Mobile 4G is not really a Danger, has nothing to do with Danger, right? Doesn't have the Danger OS, and it's just using the name Sidekick. That's it. So the 4G is basically an Android phone with the name Sidekick on it. Whereas the Kin 2 is directly, I guess the operating system directly does come from Danger OS. And then it's charging via micro USB, 8 megapixel camera, like I said, headphone jack right here, just in the middle. Then you have the on button, which is right here on the side, a little bit hard to see. The volume rockers right here, and this is actually the camera shutter button. It looks a little bit odd and out of place, but the circular button right here, but it's the camera shutter button. That's really it, and it has a home button right here as well. All right, so this is the Kin boot up screen, I guess. Wait. Just says Kin right here. Pictures of random people who I don't know. All right. Anyways, yeah, this is actually kind of like a lock screen, I guess. And you can go into the main operating system here. But you also have this other lock screen, which is just showing the time. It says, "Nice to meet you." Very friendly like that. And we just peel it away like that. And this is kind of a unique operating system. It's Kin OS, which like I said, is derived from Danger OS. So yeah, it looks kind of like the Metro interface of Windows Phone. So something similar as well. And just like the T-Mobile Sidekick devices, this actually slides up as well to reveal a QWERTY keyboard, albeit a little bit reduced from the Danger OS keyboard. It definitely is like missing a row of keys or 2 rows of keys. Yep. But it is a QWERTY keyboard here, and just like the T-Mobile Sidekick devices, the Microsoft Kin was meant to facilitate social media messaging, text messaging, and also geared towards a younger crowd as well, right? But the interface seems to be a lot more user-friendly with all these big tiles, right? Easy to press and click on. So if I go to messages, right, let's type a new message right here, and let's test out this keyboard. Yeah, this keyboard is a little bit stiff. Let's try typing it. Hey, I'm talking. Rather, I'm typing. On the MS Kin. Yeah, so this keyboard's okay. It's definitely serviceable. I wouldn't say it's better than any of the Sidekick keyboards though. It does have the circular kind of structure. It's like a bubble keyboard, just like some of the Sidekicks had. So that reminds me of the Sidekick, but I don't know, it seems a little bit stiff to me. And they do have an emoji button, just like the Sidekick keyboards did. Search functionality here as well. This is the phone button. Okay, so this is a shortcut. It's a phone shortcut, so you can enter your... Yeah, so pretty simple interface for the phone. Yeah, and then... Oh, this just goes back to the previous app you're using, I guess. This is the emoji button right here. So you can cycle through different emojis right here, which are kind of simple emojis. They have them. Symbols. Let's put a heart. It was just a... This is the way of typing a heart with the characters. Search right here. Yep, that's the search shortcut. This green button here, not really sure what this does actually. All right, yeah, the keyboard is okay. I wouldn't say it's better than any of the Sidekick keyboards. It does kind of remind me of them because of the bubble structure, circular structure, but yeah, I think they're a little bit stiff. Email, right. Okay, continue. Yeah, Windows Live, Hotmail, Gmail, AOL Mail. Now Windows Live is Outlook, right? But this was 2010. So yeah, Gmail, AOL, Mail, Yahoo Mail, IMAP. Have all that here. You can link your email. Web browser. This should be a more modern web browser than these ones. Of course, we can't really see anything. Wonder if it will show a kind of... This doesn't even look like a G. It looks like a Q, but it's actually a G. right? What's the difference? Like, look at this. This is a Q, this is a G. How similar do that look, huh? How similar do those Q keys look? That's confusing. All right. And you have, this is a backspace and this is enter. It looks a little bit similar. Okay, this is the 404 page, the one you get from Internet Explorer. I mean, you can just tell this is Internet Explorer. Look at that. That's the old 404 page from Internet Explorer. Haven't seen that in a while. Okay, this is the music, Zune. Ooh, we get a Zune here as well. Okay, so this has a built-in Zune player. So this is the exact same interface that was on the Zune that the Zune HD that I reviewed a couple weeks ago. Yeah, so I have to go back from here. Yeah, I guess this is also go back. Yeah, this is the exact same as the Zune interface. So if you ever had a Zune, this is just what that interface is. Radio, oh no, you had plug in headphones. And the Zune interface wasn't bad at all for what it did, right? Play media, it's like a PMP, plays media, videos, photos. Zune interface wasn't bad. So it has a Zune in it. And then the camera, you can also enter the camera. You can enter the camera with the camera shutter button, which I can enter here. So that opens the camera. It's 8 megapixel. Should be better quality than any of these, but it's obviously not as good quality as any of today's phones. Right? Oh man, the flash. Okay. So there's a camera. Really nothing special. Calendar. Wonder if you can go into the other view. Month. I do find this interface, yeah, it's very Windows 7, Windows. Yeah, this interface is very Windows Phone like. Yeah, I want to say this Metro derivative interface. I know this was pre-Metro, right? So this was before Windows 8. Yeah. It's before Windows 8, but it has a very Windows 8-like interface. So I wonder if Microsoft took some inspiration from the KinOS interface and adapted some of that to Metro in Windows 8. And this is settings. I'm not sure why settings has an airplane icon. Like, what, do people just go into airplane mode every time they go into settings? Like, no, you want to do other stuff too, right? Alarm, I guess, which is the clock, right? Also known as the clock. Oh, interesting. Reminds me sort of the Xbox 360 as well because of the white and green. That reminds me of Xbox 360. Calculator, I love playing with the calculator. Oh, this is the Alt. Okay, now I know what it's for. This green button, I didn't know what it did, but it's to access the Alt functions like the symbols and stuff like that. That makes sense now. Yeah. All right, can't calculate. Okay. Search, contacts, we saw that. So yeah, guys, that's the Microsoft Kin 2, and it's sort of the successor to the Danger hip-top line because it is derived. Microsoft bought Danger, and the Kin OS is derived from Danger OS, and then this OS looks a lot like Windows Phone. So I guess you could say that although they didn't succeed with the Kin at all, it did kind of influence Microsoft a lot in their design of future interfaces, right? So you can see how similar this interface is to Windows 8 and to Windows Phone. This tile interface, right? With I would say the way that it pops up and stuff like that, the way it fades, like very, very similar to the tiles in Windows 8. The Metro interface. Of course, this is originally designed for young people, so I guess it also kind of pops out like that. Whoops. But it is kind of a unique interface. So in the Zune interface as well, it has this pop-out interface where everything just fades in and fades out. Yeah. And yeah, this is actually a phone too. So you can actually call people as well, calling from my Microsoft Kin. Yep. The MS Kin Sharp. It's interesting. Windows Phone, look at that. Windows Phone, even though it's not running Windows Phone, it's calling itself Windows Phone, not running Windows Phone OS though. Verizon, Sharp, the same maker of some Sidekick devices, decided to make this too, I guess. So a lot of things in common with the T-Mobile Sidekick. That's why I kind of showed it in the same video here. Yep, and then if you want to power off, say turn off, and then immediately you're greeted by the screaming faces of all these people. Millions screaming out in pain as you destroy their lives by closing this phone. So that's it, guys. You have the evolution. I don't have the first sidekicks, the first three, but you have the Sharp. You have the Motorola Sidekick from 2007, the Sharp Sidekick LX from 2009. Actually, this one goes before the Microsoft Kin 2 from 2010, and then the T-Mobile 4G, aka Samsung Sidekick from 2011, which is actually an Android phone. And that's it, guys. That's the whole T-Mobile Sidekick line that I have, and it's interesting to look through the history of how these phones evolved. From these are basically all just their phones meant more for communication among young people, but I can see why people really have some fond memories of using these devices, just like I have fond memories of using MSN Messenger and the Windows Live Messenger back in the day, right? It's just a different time period where your phone didn't really do everything, right? And these convergent devices like the Nokia N-Gage and the Sidekick kind of came out to try to capitalize on some of the habits of young people, right? They're trying to merge these devices into one device, but it's like before the smartphone, so they didn't actually quite succeed. There was no like WhatsApp, there was no WeChat or even Facebook Messenger, right? There's no really like apps for it pre-2010, right? So you had to use like MSN Messenger. Everyone used Live Messenger or AIM or Yahoo Messenger, and it was really only on PC, right? So how could you communicate with people on the go with your friends? So you're not going to go back to your home to your PC all the time when people are using phones outside, right? So that's why these devices were kind of developed, and they didn't like typing on a T9 on a flip phone. So I guess I get why these devices were made. I know like now it doesn't really make sense to us, but at the time I understand why they were made and why they were so popular. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching this video, and see you guys next time. Hope you guys subscribe.